Hello, my Teaserking family. Now, I don't know if I'm going to see the chat or not. If I don't, I'm not ignoring anybody. It's just simply I'm not seeing it. So hopefully I can see it. All right, so let's look at our gold. And we'll get to the NFL because Philadelphia is playing. Gold's 25.66. It's down $15, but really it was down to 25.40. So I'm looking at it. It's up $26. We recovered. If you notice, there's no 8 o'clock drop. There's no 10 o'clock drop. I always notice how certain days everything is going down and certain days everything's going up. Silver 30.39. I had a theory about this. And my theory is, you know how they want to get us on CBDCs? And they want to control us, says the bad people. Well, if you start dropping gold and silver, well, mostly gold, what do? You cause a panic and people start selling, right? Oh my God, I got to get out before it goes to zero and it's going down. Let's get out. And so you have that issue. So I think that's what dawned on me. So it's again getting these intuitions that was the reason gold dropped because there's no reason for it. Okay, people are into Bitcoin, fine, whatever, we don't care. So that would be it. So gold 25.66. We can go buy it for 26.75. He's 110 over. And the quarters, I think I can get for 690, 700. Okay. Good week this week. I had Social Security hit Monday and paycheck hit today. So I got money to buy more gold. I'm going to turn my paper into gold. I love that. I love being Rumpelstiltskin. That's basically now you're getting a bar instead of this being 2,800 where I'm going to pay 29 or 750. It's just cheaper. You're still buying the ounce of gold. The theory hasn't changed. The dollar's inflated to nothing. They can't stop it's funny how nobody knows what inflation is. You printed the money. You can't stop it. You can't, inflation's under control. That's why they look at prices. It's misguided. It's like the magician. Oh, look at my left hand. That's where it's the prices that are, they're not going up. That's because the market won't let it. I was buying steak the other day. It was $16 a pound, I think, it's a pound. I said it's too expensive. I went and bought chicken. This is the point. When it gets too expensive, you don't, so then they got to lower the price. But you still printed the money. You still printed $150 trillion. That's coming home to roost as there's no more petrodollar. So countries don't need the dollar. And then BRICS is coming out with getting out of SWIFT going, you know what? We don't need the dollar for me and China to buy Indian rupees or for them to buy, for me to buy oil from Saudi Arabia. You know what? We don't need dollars to do currencies anymore. Send the dollars back. That causes huge inflation. So they can't, it's just, this is the way it is. It can't go down and it's not measured in prices and you can't measure it as 2 or 3%. Who are we kidding here? We can't measure inflation in a percent. $150 trillion printed is way, way over whatever percent it is. It's not a percentage. It's just huge. So that's inflation. It's not going down. It's going up. It kills everything. as you saw in Venezuela and Germany, Zimbabwe, Rome, Spain, France. Why couldn't they stop it? Because you can't. So they'll keep printing to pay the debt. Trump will do these stupid tariffs, which will basically kill the country. That'll kill the country, the tariffs, because we saw it happen with the Smoot-Hawley Tariff Act. Anyway, let me get back to this. So please try to chat so I can see if it's working. But I'm not doing anything. I see a black chat thing on the side. I don't see anybody saying hi. It's not intentional. I don't know what to do about it, but that's it. I looked at settings and it says allow everybody to chat. It was working the other day. So there's really nothing I can do. So anyway, if you are, and if you say hello and I don't respond, I don't see you. Not being rude. All right. So that's gold and silver. At the end of the day, I just believe it's they're trying to scare you, and then everything in Bitcoin. This is like this will be the end, right? Everybody goes into Bitcoin. It's not money. It's worthless. It's really. I was reading like I said, well, what is Bitcoin? And it's just it's a system between members. Oh, okay, Titus, I see it. There you go. So today it's working. I didn't change a setting, but I'm glad you're there. Good afternoon, Titus. We got some more games for you. I'm sure you read between the lines yesterday. I tried to be a little Titus friendly yesterday. 3 locks going. You've got 2 of them. I don't think you have the third one. I'll give it to you. And hopefully you can give me a nice big tip again. That's both our goals. You give me the tip, I know we're doing something right. So I've added I got 2 college locks. That's 4 teams, and the pro lock. And the pro lock is with the college play. I put them together. The free plays: Detroit laying 7.5, and Mahomes getting 8.5. Anytime you can get Mahomes in points, who's better than him? They haven't lost the game, first of all, and who's better than him? So off we go. All right, let's go to the NFL. Now, you should have already bought, because I told you yesterday I was playing the game tonight. Okay, Philadelphia is 4 and 49.5. I have played this game. I was torn 2 different ways. The game's 8:15. I was torn between taking the team and taking the total. This is just like the Philadelphia game against Jacksonville, where I knew it'd be high scoring, but I knew Philly was a good play. I ended up taking Philly, and they both won. So in this game, I'm using the Pittsburgh game last week, where it's 28-27. Washington loses to Pitt. Russell Wilson. Now, he's better than Jalen Hurts. So I kind of sat there and hemmed and hawed. And then I'm looking at Philly's defense. And that really was the key to my bet. I added up all your purchases. It's like $1,500 going to buy everything. Well, thank you, Titus. I appreciate that. I'm doing well for you. I can see. I don't know what you won last week, but I know you got the 18 grand, and the way I'm going, we'll just keep doing it every week. You'll be retired by January, and I'll be red hot in the playoffs. The NFL is much easier than college to pick. This game I didn't lock tonight, but the lock that I gave you is golden. I mean, you can bet on Mahomes. Well, where can you do that in college? Who's the Mahomes thing? And this is the point. I didn't lock Detroit. Had it been like 8, this would have been a lock. At 13 and a half, 14 with Mac Jones, Detroit will probably kill him. And really because Goff. If Goff didn't throw 5 picks, I wouldn't play it. But Goff threw 5 picks, and we'll go from there. And that's really the whole thing. One thing, Titus, if you want, just make it friends and family, and I don't have to pay the stupid PayPal juice because they hit me for 3.5%. If that's all right with you, you can just do a PayPal to my email and send it direct, and that would be fine too, friends and family. I'd have no objection. Well, that would be sweet. I do appreciate it, and we're gonna get you a lot of money. All right. So tonight, I did play a side. This should be a very good game. It should be a close game, and it should be close to the number. All right, let's go. Okay, thanks, Titus. That'd be wonderful. Yeah, because friends and family I don't pay that 3%, 3.5%. So like if somebody pays me 100, I get like 91. Like, really, PayPal? The Rams 4.5, 43.5 to New England. I don't know. The Rams, I couldn't believe they lost to Miami and they didn't score a touchdown. That was insane. New England, Drake May. So you got Drake May against Stafford, Pukanuka. I'll be shocked. Now, they need the game very much. The Rams. New England, what are they going to do? Way out coached in this one. Stafford, better quarterback, better receivers. The defenses are a little bit better. New England 22-24. So the Rams need the game. Miami 7-44 to Oakland, 7.5. Oakland's the Z team. Miami's the W team. This number hasn't changed. Miami with the 22 defense and Oakland 28. But what I'm noticing is these teams that are really bad offensively it's not like they're going to light up Miami. I want to say Jim Kelly. Josh Allen lit them up. Mahomes would light them up. Stafford would light them up. The good quarterbacks, but I don't see that here. Going to light them up. I just think that Oakland won't do much being the Z team. Miami needs the game, but they're so far behind. They can't catch Buffalo, especially since Buffalo beat them. They did play Buffalo well, and then they went to the Rams. So I think Miami should go against the Z team here. They're not in the teaser trend. They're actually a play against this year. They're like 8-1 against, or 9-1. Or maybe they're 8-2 now since they beat the Rams. The Bears and the Packers. Green Bay 5.5, 40. They were 6. Like 5.5 matters. And then 40.5. Green Bay is an E team, 22 defense. The Bears are a very good under team with the 19. They changed offensive coordinators. Hate to break it to you guys. It's Caleb, not the offensive coordinator. So let's see what the new one does. I just don't think there'll be a lot of points in this game. Love's been a lot of interceptions. Had a bad groin, but he had last week off, so he rested it. Depends how bad he pulled it. We will see. So he could be better after the rest. But this Bears defense is really tough. I don't see Green Bay lighting them up. Detroit, still you can get a 13.5 at FanDuel, 46.5, 47. We got Jones and Golf. We got Love and Caleb. And we got Minshew. And Miami is tagged. So we got Jones in golf. Jones is terrible. He was terrible at New England. I can't imagine being any better at Jacksonville. Lawrence sucks. All he does is run around. He's not a good quarterback. So Jacksonville's a W. I would say with Jones, they're a Z. 26 defense. Detroit's the A team with the 19 defense, even though they lost the stud defensive end Hutchinson. They're playing okay defensively, but Jones isn't going to do anything against him. So as much as I don't like laying over a touchdown in the NFL, you can lay over a ton. I got 37-13 Detroit. Again, this is the one of the free picks. It's just off of the 5 interceptions, Detroit at home. It's really the key is Jacksonville with the 26 defense. They're not going to. Houston had a 23. The Lions got what 26. I don't see this game being close. The Lions tend to open the game and just knock you down, right? They'll score 3-4 touchdowns in the first half, and then they kind of sit on it. But with Jones, I just don't see much. A lot of turnovers, a lot of sacks. He's not very good. So this is a really good matchup for Detroit because Goff threw 5 interceptions. So he's going to go out to say, I'm not this bad. All right, Cleveland, New Orleans. New Orleans 144.5. Cleveland a W with the 24, and they're starting Winston. The last time he was good was at Florida State. And New Orleans, I guess, will start Carr. New Orleans an E team, 25 defense. Cleveland a W with the 24. I don't know what's going on with New Orleans. They fired their coach. Hey, Ryan. Well, we're here. Hello. Yesterday, I didn't want anybody to get upset. I couldn't read anything. And Titus told me, he said, well, I'm seeing it. I said, well, I'm not. So today I am seeing the text, so that's good. But I didn't see it. I didn't see it yesterday. So again, it's one of these YouTube things where once I can't see myself, once the sound's off, I'm talking and then nobody can hear. So YouTube, I don't know. They definitely have problems. But how you doing, Ryan? Looking for another big week. So New Orleans, I don't know. What do you do? The coach is fired. How do you bet that? It's like the Jets. How do you bet? You don't know who the coach is. I suppose you can bet the Jets because it's Aaron Rodgers, but here I ain't betting on Carr. I'm not sure if Olave's playing, and then we look at Cleveland with Winston. Not sure, so we'll leave that alone. Baltimore 48.5. This should be a very good game. Baltimore is an over team with the 25 and Lamar. And the better quarterback in this game is our boy, if I can think of his name, Russell Wilson. My mind's going sometimes. I'm like, I can picture him, but I can't think of his name. Russell Wilson starting to play really good, and they got the killer defense. Better defense is Pittsburgh. Baltimore doesn't even have a defense anymore. I don't know what they're doing. And then they go ahead and they blow out Buffalo. And then they don't have a defense and lose to Cleveland and lose to Oakland, and they blow out my Denver team. I don't know. They're really schizophrenic. The game in Pitt's a home dog. Pitt is undefeated in a teaser this year. So I believe they're 9-1 because everybody had, or 9-0 because everybody had the bye in a teaser. They haven't played Cincinnati yet, I don't believe. And I think, Cincinnati played Baltimore twice. So, yeah, they haven't played Cincy yet, and Joe Burrow, and I think this is their first Baltimore game. So, should be a very, very good game, very tight game, I believe. This is for their division lead. Minnesota 6-39.5 to Tennessee. Minnesota, a B team, 17 defense. Tennessee is Z with the 27. Darnold was a little banged up, but I'm sure he'll play. He's just questionable. When they miss a Tuesday or Wednesday practice, it ain't a big deal. Okay. Tennessee, I believe they're back to Levis, who sucks. I don't see what they see in him. Oh, he can run. He's a quarterback. He needs to throw. He can't do that. So Minnesota, 23-3 in a teaser. Enough said there. The Jets, 4-44 to Indy. We got Richardson back. How can you play Richardson? He quit. He ran 3 times and said, I'm tired. How do you play this guy? What is going on here? I think Indy's going to lay down. I don't think they'll play good. The Jets, I don't know. They've been laying down. They're both under teams. 22 defense for Indy, 21 for the Jets's. Rodgers has been struggling. I don't know, but Richardson doesn't bring a lot to the table. He doesn't throw very well, and he just wants to run. And then when he runs, he doesn't slide, so he gets hurt. He's a guy that doesn't want to play. He's just there for the paycheck. He sucked at Florida. I can't believe they took him. Niners, 6.5, 48 to Seattle. Both are E teams. Seattle with the 25 defense. Frisco with the 22. Purdy against Smith, but the big difference here is McCafferty's back. Frisco's basically, I think, in a tie at like 5-4 for the division with Seattle, with Arizona, I think. They need the game. This is a must-win, and this is a championship team, San Francisco. And you got your McCafferty back, who didn't play a lot last week, getting into shape. Look for him to play more in a big game. Seattle's defense sucks. The key is going to be Metcalf. So let's see if we have a Metcalf back or not. Metcalf injured knee. So he's not doubtful. So he might be back. I don't know. Because if he was really it would be doubtful or out. I don't see anybody on the Niners. Kittle, hamstring injured. McCafferty, Achilles, but these are November 12th. Ward, Nick Bosa, injured hip. But again, nobody is out. Injured is questionable, they'll play. So I'll look for the Niners to have everybody back except for Ayuk. But if Deebo Samuel's there and McCafferty's there, look out. Bosa playing. I think they really need the game. So watch Frisco go on a roll now that McCafferty's back. Denver, 1.5 and 2, 44 to Atlanta. Now, Cousins, I heard or read, he's banged up, his elbow and his shoulder against Bo Nix. So he's not 100%. Now, my hope would be Penix gets out there and you'll never see Cousins again. Because once they let Penix play, that's it. He's so much better than Cousins. But, you got idiot coaches in the league. They're so insecure. Well, Cousins has been there. But yeah, he's choked everywhere he's been. He didn't win in Minnesota with Jefferson. What the fuck are you doing with him? So, again, they don't want to, we made a mistake and we signed a guy and we paid him $50 million. Oops, but the draft guy is 5 times better. So, Atlanta, Denver. Denver, 1.5. They're an under team with an 18 defense. Atlanta's an E team with a 24 defense. So, your defense pressure is highly on Denver, on grass, at home. Bo Nix is playing much better. So the 304 is with early Bo Nix, but now he's lighting it up a lot more. Atlanta doesn't have a defense. They want to run Bijan Robinson. Denver's got a killer defense. Should have beat KC last week. They have to win. They're 5-5. Atlanta's winning their division. So backs against the wall is Atlanta. They're 1.5. They're 1.5 2. You can get Denver in 4.5. I don't like Atlanta in 7.5. I think Denver just buries them. Uh, KC Buffalo, there's your free play. Buffalo 2.5, 46. Number hasn't moved. KC 24, Buffalo 21 is my score. KC is a really strong defense. They're an 18 defense. So you think of KC, Mahomes, and Kelsey, and Pacheco, and he's playing. But you've got an 18 defense. You got Spagnola's defense. Josh Allen, choker, A-team, 19 defense. So we got an 18 defense and a 19 defense, but we got Mahomes, and they don't. And that's why it's the free pick. Mahomes over Allen. Allen chokes, Mahomes wins championships. I'm betting on the winner. And that's really basically the whole theory I use in picking games. I'm looking for the stars, Lawrence Taylor, Joe Montana, Tom Brady, and, we're trying to figure out if Aaron Rodgers is still a star. But that's what you look at because they're the money guys. They're the guys that win. So if I'm going to bet, I don't want to bet on idiot losers. I want to bet on the winners. So I'm betting on Mahomes. And the key is he's getting to, why is he favored here? This is ridiculous. You're letting Mahomes be a dog again. You haven't learned from the playoffs where we locked him against Buffalo, Baltimore, and Frisco in the killer defense. So there's no way this game's going to be tight. And if it's tight, Mahomes wins it. Maybe at the end, they'll do in the playoffs where they got up 17-7 and just held the ball and ran the clock out. So 24-21 is my score. Kansas City is not an over team. They have a killer defense. You can't just bet them over. You got to be careful with them. Cincinnati and San Diego, this game is really frustrating to me. San Diego 1.5, 47.5. Cincinnati's an over team. Obviously, Joe Burrow, but they have a bad defense. It's a 26 defense. I don't know why they didn't do it, but this is the problem when you pay Burrow and Chase all that money. It's like in Miami, you're paying Tua. I think you're paying Tua and Tyreek Hill. There's no money left for good defensive players, and that's how you win. You don't win. Look at Cincinnati. So San Diego's got Herbert. So if you notice what Harbaugh did, he got rid of the receivers who were making a lot of money, and he replaced them with nobodies. But he didn't let go of Khalil Mack and Bosa. He kept the defense strong, and that's what he's playing to. And they have a 13 defense, which I don't want to. I love Joe Burrow, but not against the 13 defense. You got to be kidding. Now, he did beat Alabama, so we will give him some credit with their 13 defense. So you've got an over against an under. Normally, this would be a lock. Take Burrow as the dog, but I can't do it here. I don't know what I'm doing here. I haven't made up my mind. I see the 26 defense, and I'm so tuned into the defense that they should score, but this San Diego defense is going to be all over Burrow. I don't see him lighting it up. So they could get enough points to cover as the dog. They're 1.5, so you get 7.5. But this is the difference between a lock and like a 9-unit play. This is a 9-unit play. I mean, it's either Cincinnati. I don't know. I mean, maybe I go under because it's 48. Maybe I go under 54 because it's San Diego. They don't score a lot. I think they'll play Army-Navy football with them. I think they're going to run it and play defense. And Burrow's going to see the ball 5 times in the game. I do not think this goes over. Even with Cincinnati and their weak defense, I just don't see Burrow lighting it up. You don't want to fuck with Burrow against this defense, right? Against Baltimore, we locked them, right? That's the difference. Baltimore has a 25 defense. We locked the over, and it won easily. 35-34, right? 69, we needed 46. You're not going to get anywhere near 69 in this game, okay? San Diego doesn't score that well, and their defense, there's a big difference, a 26 defense and a 13 defense. This is the whole psychology and theory that I have come up with, and it's pretty fucking successful. So I don't want to fuck with San Diego's defense, even with Joe Burrow. Maybe Mahomes. Well, we did fuck with him. We had Mahomes, and okay, Mahomes beat him 17-10. And I think we had KC -1 in the game. Maybe Burrow, if they had a better defense, I would take Burrow, but I don't like the defense. So this is a game I have to really think about. In our last game, Houston 7.5 Monday night, Dallas 42. We got an under team in Houston with the 23 defense that looked good the first half against the Lions. It didn't show up in the second half. Same thing with Stroud. Looked good the first half. And then through the stupidest interception I've ever seen, floating the ball up, the guy's wide open in the end zone. Why are you laying it up there? And then it gets intercepted. And that was, if he just throws it on a line, they win the game because then they'd be up 30-13. Dallas is Cooper Rush. I like Cooper Rush, but he's okay. So we have an under team with a 23 defense in Houston. We have a W team with a 29 defense in Dallas. Over under 42. Dallas, I don't know. Hard to believe a 29 with Michael Parsons. I don't understand that. This is how bad the coach is. So I don't know. I think Houston's going to be flat. I think they got out for the Lions. They had the lead. They got all emotional. And I think they're going to be flat here. I think everybody's taking them like, oh, okay. Hey, Nick. That's good, Nick. I'm glad you're okay. I'm glad I can see that you said hello because I couldn't see anything yesterday, so I didn't want to offend anybody. I think Houston's flat. I think they had the lead. They had Detroit won, and now they're flat. Stroud, I don't know. Michael Parsons is going to be all over Stroud. Good defense. Dallas, I don't see with the defense, 29. They got CD Lamb. That's it. They're not going to run on this Houston team. That middle linebacker, where has he been all year? This guy was a superstar last week. But see, everybody's expecting Houston to play like they did against Detroit, and they're not going to do it. Dallas is going to be pissed off because they got killed last week by Philly, right? So Dallas is going to want this game. Cooper Rush is fine. He's not a bad quarterback. CD Lamb, Michael, they got the talent. I'm not buying Houston's going to blow them out. I think that if Houston wins, it'll be by 3, maybe 6, but I don't buy that. So anyway, free play, Detroit laying 7.5 and Kansas City getting 8.5. It's Mahomes. We got to love it. I do have one lock in here in this mess. And, played a few games. I played tonight's game. I guess now I can say it's 8:22. I got Washington winning 24-20. Watching the Pitt game last week, they lost 28-20. They put up 27 points on Pitt, who's got a better defense than Philly. But Philly's got a good defense. It's going to be a rivalry. It's a division game, big conference game. This is for first place. I think Philly's going to run Barkley a lot. So I was hemming and hawing. Do I take Washington? Because they haven't been blown out. They lost to Baltimore by 7. They got blown out week 1 to Tampa. But since then, they lost a tight one to Baltimore, beat the Bears, who had trouble with that defense. So I ended up going under 49.5. So I'm under 55.5. And I think that's a good under. Philly's defense is looking very good. Washington has an outstanding defense. They're 22 and Philly's an 18. And I'm remembering the Washington Bear game where they struggled. They kicked all these field goals. So I'm going 24-20 Washington. Philly's got the balance with Barkley, which I love. A team that has the run and the pass is always more successful. I don't like Jalen Hurts that much. I love Daniels. He doesn't need a whole year like Caleb. We got to help Caleb. Bo Nix looks fine. Daniels looks fine. And wait till Penix gets out there. So I don't really get the whole thing with Caleb. Like, oh, he needs this and that and this and that. Bullshit. Daniels doesn't need the time and Nix doesn't. So I think Daniels keeps them in it. I think this is a tight game. I think this goes down to the wire. And I just thought 49.5 with Philly's defense being an 18, and they're shutting down a lot of teams. I think this will be a close, and I think they use Barkley a lot. But Washington, don't ignore Washington's got a very good defense. They had like a 30 defense in the beginning. Tampa lit them up. And then the Bengal game where it was 38-33, that was Joe Burrow. Since then, nobody's lighting them up. They're playing good, close games. You got to watch who they're playing, okay, against the Bears, but still, that's why. So I ended up going under in tonight's game. All right, let's go to college. I'm not going to talk every game. I'm just going to talk the good games. All right, so we start off tonight. It's already gone. Tonight was East Carolina 14-61 to Tulsa. East Carolina was an over team. I mentioned all this yesterday. Tulsa was a W with a 38 defense. I had to write out who needed the games for each division. I don't have East Car as one of the teams, so I laid away from that. I have 4 locks in this, and I'm not giving a free play in college because I can't win them. So the free play is in the pros, Detroit with Kansas City. But in college, 4 locks and just a real strong thing. I did play 3 games tomorrow. So let's go. UTSA, North Texas. North Texas is 1.5, 72.5. And I will say I played the over, but it's not a free pick. But I got this going to 100. This will be a 100-point game. These are 2 very explosive teams, and their defenses are in the 30, 34, 33. So I love this game over. I'm not scared of the 72. If it was 60, it would be a lock. 65 would have been a lock. 72, I can't lock it, but I do play it. Washington, UCLA. Washington 4.5, 47. UCLA is playing very good ball lately. Look for them to stay alive in this game. UCLA, an E team with the 27 defense, but it's better. And Washington's an under with the 20. Garbers, the UCLA quarterback's playing much better. They just beat Nebraska, who can play at Nebraska. So look for this game. I wouldn't be surprised if UCLA wins it, but if it at worst will be close. And then Houston, Arizona 1.5, 46.5. Should be a good game. Houston's been playing really well. They beat Kansas State last week. Arizona's had their problems this year. Fajita just is throwing a ton of interceptions. They're actually a W team. So I think we have a pretty live dog going tomorrow. Liberty and UMass. Now, Liberty. I don't see them needing the game. I think they're like 4-2, and the first place team 6-0. Liberty's only 14, 51.5, and they're going against UMass, the Z team. So I got Liberty, and I only have to lay 8 to UMass, a Z team. And UMass has a 32 defense. So figure out what you need to there. You got a good offensive team against the Z team. That's what we pray for. Colorado up to 11.5, 46. I played this game. Utah with their new quarterback's out for the year. So we're already done with whatchamacallit, Cam Rising. And now Rose took over and played the BYU game pretty well, got 21 on him. He's out for the year. He hurt his leg. So now they're back to Wilson's brother. Colorado's got a defense now. So what you have is Utah, an under team with a 17 defense. Colorado with an A team and a 22 defense. Utah will not be flat because they're the dog and they got a good coach. Look for them to play a good game. The flat team I'll get to is Kansas BYU. We can jump there now. BYU 2.5, 56. Kansas just blew out Iowa State. Iowa State's got a great defense. BYU's got a decent defense, but not as good as you think because they beat SMU like 17-14 or 19-15 or something like that. So, oh, wow, what a defense. But then they give up more points, but they score a lot. They've scored like 30 every game. So this game should be an interesting one. I do believe that I don't know how humanly possible BYU isn't flat for this game. You got sky high for your big rival. You're still undefeated. You beat Utah on a last-second field goal wearing your all-blue uniforms. I like that. Utah's all red, and BYU's all blue. It's always like that. So they will be a little flat. Kansas is on fire. Look for a very good chance of an upset here. Just saying. Kansas an over team with the 26 defense. But if you can put up 48 points on Iowa State, you got my attention. BYU, they're probably the worst undefeated team I've ever seen. But they're good. The quarterback's okay. They have a good defense, and they keep winning. And they beat a lot of good teams. So this should be a good game. I'm not saying Kansas will win, but it should be a close ball game. TK, I know you're doing football, but we have to stay confident in gold. Everyone bearish now. All right, let me talk to Nick on this for 1 second. If we think that the whole plan of the elites is to enslave us and put us into CBDCs, which are digital money, which are worthless, if that's their plan, then let's think this through. They got gold down and put everybody into Bitcoin. This reminds me of Noah and the ark. Okay. Noah goes around saying to everybody, get on the boat, and everybody tells him, fuck off. It's sunny out. Why would I get on the ark? Everybody dies when it rains. Everybody's in Bitcoin, which we know isn't real. I was reading today. I'm curious. I'm going, okay, what the fuck is Bitcoin? And what they said is it's a payment system between people. There's no government involvement, which means it has no value. It's not backed by anything. And it's just used for, drug dealers to buy their drugs or prostitutes or things like that, where they pay me in crypto and keep it off the books. That's what Bitcoin is. It's Russian mafia. And so you're in Bitcoin, and then there's Coinbase, which is how you get the coins, is bankrupt or going bankrupt. How are you going to get the coin out? You can't. And everybody's is in gold, and it's like a Bible story where all the sheep are following, and they're going to all go over the cliff. But they're trying to get you out of gold into Bitcoin. That's what this whole thing's about, I believe, my intuition. And it's pretty fucking strong intuition. And so I see that as people are, well, I'm going to sell my gold before it goes way down, and I'm going to buy Bitcoin because look, it's going up. I don't know why it's going up, and nobody knows. It doesn't have value except for us. So therefore, I'm in Bitcoin. It's going to go to 1 million. Okay, let's say it goes to 1 million. Well, if Coinbase is out, how are you going to get the money out? And then if the banks collapse, where are you going to go? This is just like PayPal. I'm in Bitcoin. Bitcoin goes up. I want to sell it. I transfer it I sell it, and then I transfer it into my bank. That's how it's good anywhere in the world, but that's misleading because it's not. It goes into your bank. So unless you have a bank everywhere in the world, it's going to go into your JP Morgan bank or Chase. It'll go from Bitcoin, you download it into your bank account in Chase, and that's what happens. Well, how am I going to get my money out of Chase? Because the money is worthless. And if Chase is under, or if they do bail-ins, I can't get my money out anyway. And when the dollar goes out, my money is worthless. So they're trying to get you out of gold into Bitcoin. Obvious. But we know gold is the king. Gold is where you go. You don't panic with gold. You know Putin's coming out with a gold-backed exchange, not only gold-backed currency, a gold exchange, diamonds and precious metals, gold, silver, copper. And he's coming out with this exchange, which is going to physically price gold. So we know BRICS is still coming out with the gold-backed currency. We know all the central banks are still buying gold. This is just some bullshit thing where the price is going down and they're trying to get you to panic. It's just like the football line when Fresno State goes from 7-11 and you go, oh, I'm going to bet they're going to win, and then they lose the game. You can't, you've got to be stoic and say, we know gold's the right play. I'm going to go buy more on Saturday. I'm not selling an ounce. I'm buying because I know I don't have to sell it now. It's something that give it a month and we'll be right back to 2,900. So I believe supposedly December 1st is when they announce gold-backed currency, but we'll see. But they are going to announce it. If Trump does his tariffs, it'll bankrupt the U.S. because we know what happened in 1921 with the Smoot-Hawley Tariff Act. It destroyed the U.S. It caused this Great Depression. He's doing it to get tax income, but he won't get it because everybody will raise prices and nobody can buy anything. So if Luke was here, the tennis rackets would go from 300 to 500 because now you can't buy the Chinese ones. You got to buy the Wilson and the Spaldings made in America, and they're going to raise their prices because we just got rid of the competition. Well, who's going to buy a tennis racket that costs you $300 for $600? Nobody. That's the problem with tariffs. And you slow the economy and you kill the competition. So it's a global thing that everybody, all their sales go down and everybody's fucked. So I don't smell what Trump's cooking. And he's got Elon Musk. Like, really? I don't think they can have a gold-backed currency because there's no gold. I was reading something today at work. I see this Bloomberg channel, and they were talking about somebody was going to sell the gold for Bitcoin because Trump wants a Bitcoin backing, right? So he wants to invest the gold money in Bitcoin and have some gold and some Bitcoin. Only you don't have any gold. Again, they still think they have gold in Fort Knox, but it's China's. So how is he going to do this? He can't. And they're just assuming there's gold in Fort Knox, and there isn't. And what are you going to do with Bitcoin? It's worthless. And again, nobody wants to pay attention that the dollar's worthless. They're just assuming the dollar's strong and look, oh, inflation's down, which is impossible. And that's where they go with it. So buy more gold. You know they can't inflate it. You know they're inflating. You know this is worthless. So because Trump got on and Bitcoin's going up because everybody thinks that, well, we'll have Bitcoin, but Bitcoin isn't money. It's got no value. Let them think what they want to think. It's bullshit. And gold is the key. God, my thing. Gold is you can't inflate it, so it's not going anywhere. So don't worry about it. Mark McGuire will be on tomorrow. I'll share that with you tomorrow night. But Mark will he'll explain what's going on. And it's a little, okay, Trump's in and he's into Bitcoin. So nobody's selling their gold to get into Bitcoin. It's all derivatives, right? So just understand that. Gold I thought it was up. It was 25, 65 or 70 when we started. So it had gotten down into the 25s, but now it's coming back. Tomorrow should be a positive day on a Friday, and we'll see. We'll see 27 again. All I know is I can go buy it cheaper then. It's like I'm being rewarded for getting the job. The gold gods are lowering the price so Howard can buy more. That's how I view it. But that's money and not a worry. Don't even look at the derivative price. Don't get frustrated or that. Just stay stoic. You know it's the only real money. You know Bitcoin isn't real money, and all these people are going to die with Bitcoin, just like Madoff. What happened with Madoff? Everybody jumped in and it went up to $60 billion until he got arrested for fraud, and everybody lost all their money and they're all crying. Oh my God, what am I doing? Well, what did you think you were doing? You're in Madoff. You're in Bitcoin. What do you think you're doing? Bitcoin isn't even real. They don't even have real coins. It's not money. It's not accepted. There's no government backing, so it'll never be accepted. Trump wants them to do. What's Trump going to do with it? He won't know the value. He's going to sell gold for Bitcoin. What are you going to do when Bitcoin goes down? You're going to look like an idiot. So anyway, that's that. Let's get back to football. So Ohio State, Northwestern, Ohio State, 28.5, 44. They have to win this game because they've got one loss. They got Indiana and Michigan. The next two, they get two losses, they're done because Indiana and Oregon are undefeated, so they can't lose this game. Tulane in the Navy, Tulane 7 and 52.5. This is both teams need it to win their conference. Tulane's an outstanding team, so is Navy, although unless they play Notre Dame. Pitt and Clemson, I don't know what's going on with these teams. Clemson's been scoring. I bet them over. They don't score. 11.5, 53.5. Pitt should be a high-scoring team, and they did the same thing. So they're high-scoring, and then all of a sudden they start not scoring, and you can't. The quarterbacks are there. I don't know what's going on. But what should be a high-scoring game there. Western Kentucky, Tech. Western Kentucky, 13-52. Western Kentucky does need the game for the conference championship. So look for them to. Tech is not. They're an under team with the 23 defense. It's not the same as our Z teams. That's what you want to pound the Western Kentuckys when they play the Z team. I think I had them last week or the week before playing the Z team, and they killed them. And so here, Tech's not a Z team. Texas, 12.5, 57.5 to Arkansas. Texas has to win. If they want to win the SEC, Arkansas, I don't know who they are. Ole Miss beat them by 100 points. So they're very inconsistent. Marshall against Coastal Carolina. I believe Marshall. Marshall does need the game, not Coastal Carolina. Marshall's 8.5, 56.5. We've got Coastal Carolina, an over team with the 31 defense, and Marshall's a B team with the 23 defense. They've been scoring a lot, and they've been playing good. Coastal Carolina does score a lot with the 31 defense. So, yeah, Marshall must win the game to win their conference. Jacksonville State, 12.5, 58.5 to Florida International. Jacksonville State needs the game to win their conference. It's Western Kentucky, Jacksonville State, and Sam Houston. And Jacksonville State needs it. They're laying what? They're down to 12.5. Wow, they were 14. Down to 12.5. Florida, so we got to check for injuries. Jacksonville State with over team, 29 defense. Florida International is an E team with the 25 defense. We got a 58 total. But Florida International, 25. Jacksonville State's Rich Rodriguez, they score a lot. They have to win. They're at home. They should do it. Alabama's playing Mercer. Really? How does that? Oh, let's put them in the playoff because they beat Mercer. Unbelievable. Illinois, 2.5, 47.5. Pretty meaningless for the Big Ten. I don't know. Decent team. Sam Houston, they need the game playing Kennesaw State. Kennesaw State's a Z team with the 32 defense. Sam Houston's kind of an under team, but they can score. They're going to lay, this one's up to 16. This was 14 and a half, so this has jumped. The Sam Houstoners, 42 and a half total. Kennesaw State, the Z team with the 32 defense. Sam Houston in a must-win game, laying 16 now with the 20 defense. So they'll probably kill them. SMU 18 and a half, 54 to Boston College. SMU needs the game. They are winning the ACC. Yes, SMU's in the ACC. You'd have thought they were in the Big 12. How did they go to the ACC? An A team, this spread is now 18 and a half, 19. And 54. BC quarterbacks out. Castellanos, they're an E team with a 23 defense. SMU's an A team with the 22 defense. Their only loss was to BYU 1916. Way back, week 2 or 3. SMU changed to Jenkins as quarterback. They have to win. Look for them to win big. Okay. I don't care. Penn State, 28 and a half, 50 and a half to Purdue. Penn State's do or die. There's only a couple games left. Oregon's undefeated. Indy's undefeated. Ohio State's got a loss. They play Indy, so one of them's going to, have the one loss is it. Purdue stinks, 38 defense, terrible team. Penn State should blow them out, but they don't really blow out teams. But if they're going to, it's bad against Purdue here. LSU, Florida with all the injuries. LSU 456, just for you, Bobby. Wherever you are, Bobby. Did you go to the game last week, Bobby? I assume he went to that LSU game and sat there in the rain watching fucking Bama kill them. Both teams are even. Florida's a 28 defense. A lot of their defense got hurt. Now, I saw the second string quarterback who got carted off with his leg. He couldn't move. Is questionable. So we'll see. But LSU should hammer them with all the injuries to Florida. But again, it's kind of a meaningless. LSU's kind of out of it. I guess they can still, they only have 2 losses. They can still get to the playoff. Notre Dame, 23, 50 and a half to Virginia. Let's make it 22 and a half. There's one of those. Notre Dame, an A team with an 11 defense. Virginia's an even with the 27. Touchdown Jesus is going to get a workout there. The cheerleaders are going to do a lot of push-ups. Louisville, 20 and a half, 57 and a half to Stanford. Louisville. Okay. 20 and a half, 57 and a half. Stanford stinks. They're the W team with the 35 defense. Louisville, I love the quarterback from I can't think of his name, from Texas Tech. I can't believe I can't think of this guy's quarterback. Jesus Christ. Louisville's an A team with the 24 defense. I want to say Morton, but I'm not sure. Really good quarterback, though, but from Texas Tech. 20 and a half. They got to fly to the West Coast. Stanford stinks at the 35 defense. Look for Louisville. They got to win. Georgia Southern against Troy, 7.5, 54. Georgia Southern has to win, and Troy stinks, and it's only 7.5. My line was 14. I'm looking at 7.5. I had to look at it twice. I'm looking for injuries. I'm not seeing. I'm like, wow, how is this 7.5? So definitely get on Georgia Southern, but it's not a free pick because I can't give a free pick. It'll lose. So it's not a free pick. Baylor, West Virginia. Baylor, 1.5, 59.5. Baylor. This was 2.5. Well, there is a 2.5 on FanDuel. 1.5, 59.5. Let's check the injuries. This is a huge bet if the West Virginia quarterback plays. Baylor, really no, all questionable. West Virginia. West Virginia. I don't see the quarterback out. Safety out, cornerback out, wide receiver. So if we get Green back, well, we might have another lock here. You know how I fancy Baylor. This is 59.5. Yeah, this could be. 2 over teams and the quarterback. So you already know all that gimmick. USC 7.5, 51 in Nebraska. I am not. USC, I think, wins this game easy because they're going to Maivia, my Vegas quarterback, who should have been starting the whole fucking year. And they kept going with Moss, and I couldn't understand it. And it's a 7.5, 51. USC wins the game. There's no question. Missouri, South Carolina. I don't know. Missouri, my guy Brady Cook's been injured. Drew Pine's the backup from Notre Dame. He sucks. South Carolina, 14, 41.5. I don't know. You can't give Missouri this many points. I'm sorry. They are a very good coach team. They have Brady Cook. I'm not sure if he's playing. We'll know more tomorrow. We'll look at it tomorrow, but I think they're a very live dog, Missouri. I know South Carolina's been winning, but still. Let's see. Texas State, 27.5, 56. And this was 26. Texas State, they have the really good quarterback, McLeod. He hurt his ankle, and that's why that one game they didn't score. He came back last week. They killed somebody. And they get to play the worst team in college football, Southern Miss. I'll be shocked if they don't win by 50 in this game. They have to win for their division, I believe. Well, actually, they're like 4-2, and the leader's 6-0, so they kind of have to win and maybe catch. But the only reason they're not there is the quarterback got hurt. This McLeod guy is very good, dual action. Who's he like?